In a world of seemingly endless podcasts comes what many would call another one. Welcome to the Two Men podcast with your hosts Tim Matson and Phil Powell. Now please join these two confirmed men, that's two moderately entertaining nerds, as they take you on another podcast adventure that's guaranteed to be funny. Or not. This week the two men discuss how to adult properly. Something tells me this isn't going to be pretty.
Welcome to another episode of the Two Man Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tim.
I'm your other one, Phil.
It's good to be here with you today. How are you doing, Phil?
I'm doing good. I'm spectacular.
That's very nice. I'm glad to hear that.
I'm not real, but I am spectacular.
You are always impressive to me.
Oh, well, that's just your podcast self-talking.
It is true. No. In truth, I look up to you, Phil. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Yes. Well, you better get started on that growing up part.
No, I don't really plan on growing up.
All right. Well, I haven't done that much, so it's not going to be that much to catch up on.
Well, we're kind of dancing around the topic of the day. We've decided to talk about how to adult properly.
Yes. This is a guide in case any of you out there are wondering how to adult. Tim and I are going to instruct you.
Because we are experts in the field of adulting.
Mm-hmm. We are alpha adults. Do you realize that?
Alpha?
Yeah, we've survived more than other adults that have not survived to this point.
That's true. I don't know if we deserve a prize for that, though. Remaining alive, that's your reward.
Yes. We're alive. That makes us alpha adults.
Okay, all right, I'll go with that. Sure, alpha adults.
Well, are we omega adults? What is it, alpha?
We're not omega.
We're not omegas.
No, we definitely. Yeah, in that sense, yeah. If we're ranking us on the Greek alphabet, we're definitely on the starting space.
Yeah. Okay.
In the game of life, we haven't even spun the spinner yet.
Is that how you started the game of life?
I don't remember how you played. All I remember about the game of life is that when we were playing it when we were kids, we used to name our spouse.
Couldn't you wind up not married?
Yeah, I think so.
Did that gain you points, or
I don't know if it was if it gained you points or lost you points. I don't know.
It was like you were a loser. Were they forcing stereotypes on us so young?
I do remember that one of the good strategies was to skip college. That seemed like rather suspect.
You know what? That turns out to be pretty good advice. In hindsight, well, actually, what they should have said is you skipped majoring in art in college.
Yeah, that should have been an option. Yeah, to skip liberal arts college.
That's right. It's like
only go to business school.
That's right. That gives you bonus points. That enables you to have the kids and the wife.
I think really, if you got a liberal arts degree, it should just move you straight to the poorhouse.
Oh, that's right.
You just skip the rest of the game.
They did have the poorhouse in the game of life, didn't they?
Yeah, at the end, you either moved to the mansion or you were in the poorhouse.
So adulting. What is your best? We're going to say this not on each other.
Okay.
Not that we're
best
on
advice.
each. Not that
what?
we're.
Yep.
We're never on each other, ladies and gentlemen. In case anyone has wondered. So, what is your best adulting advice, Tim?
Do you think there's fan fiction out there of us, like slash fiction?
Yes.
It suddenly just occurred to me the way you were putting that. I'm like, so many celebrities get fan fiction or slash fiction written about them. I wonder if there's something out there about us.
You mean you're implying that we're not already attracted to each other?
Our mics are awfully close.
That's right. I think there's fan fiction written where we don't like each other and we sleep in separate bedrooms, which is actually how we would normally behave.
It really is.
Yeah, that's right. You would have to fictionalize.
I get really hot. I don't like to be spooned. I get
you don't like to be spooned?
Man, I get hot in a hurry. I'll spoon for maybe about 3 minutes tops.
You're not a cuddler then.
No, I'm really not.
See, now that's different than me because I have to be...
Are you a cuddler? Are you a spooner?
I am. I'll own it.
Jesus.
I'll own it. So
you're the worst.
Any fan fiction that must be written about us... If there's a sexual encounter or even just friendliness.
I have to be the little spoon.
No, you must reconcile in fan fiction our inner conflict about...
That's a lot of conflict because I will go sleep on the couch It is freaking hot.
If somebody tries to spoon with you, you'll go sleep on the couch?
I mean, if they're too insistent on spooning, I'm couch bound.
Oh, man. So that
See,
may
now,
work.
I sleep with the ceiling fan on too.
That may work contrary to your ultimate goals. How does that play out when you want to get busy? Is it
Well, I mean, you
hey,
gotta-
hey, I left. Hey, I left. Oh, hi.
I'm back. I got a little anxious out there on the couch.
Got a little something for you. A little something. Oh, now.
Hey, I take umbrage at that little something.
Yeah.
God, come on, man.
Well, it's like you probably would have to point and say, like, here,
It's down here.
what I'm speaking of. No. And don't you dare try to spoon with me again afterwards. That's
don't
to
like-
me. That's
I'm
the part that's
sorry,
the problem
man.
is if you bet a spooner, you better be prepared to spoon.
Man, I'll put in some
Dividers.
I'll put in lip service to spooning. I mean, I will spoon for a little bit, and then it's time to break it off. We gotta.
Did you ever in high school play spoons?
Wait, what?
You were in the band.
No, I didn't go to like West Virginia High or anything like that.
Oh, not that. Now that's bigoted.
That is bigoted.
Are we predominantly northern or southern in our persuasion?
We are predominantly North Carolinian in our appeal because that's where most of our audience is from.
Okay, so we're southern.
I guess.
I mean, I'm just saying that's where our appeal is. Listeners, though, if you would like to write a fan fiction story where Tim and I do a joke that is so good, it gets in the New Yorker. Now, see, that's probably better than a sexual story.
That really would be much better. I'd be all about that.
Be like, wow, they think we're smart. Look at that joke.
Very posh joke that gets us
Yeah,
into.
I'm waiting for Peggy Droz to write some fan fiction about us. You know, she's got a little time on her hands. There's no reason she can't write some fan fiction. I'm liking this idea more and more, fan fiction about us. And if they don't do it, I will, because the people are demanding it. And in this instance, the people are me.
I don't think anybody's demanding this.
The people are me.
You didn't even think about this till I brought it up.
Oh, all right. I'll give you credit in the forward. It was your idea.
All right, fine.
When we sell our 1,000,000 copies. Adulting.
I feel like I adult most of the days.
Right.
There are some days I don't adult very well.
So how do you adult? How do you feel as though you're adulting?
I adult in that I don't have dirty dishes in my sink every day.
Mm-hmm.
I do dishes. I do laundry.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the house clean. That's adult-like, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you pay your bills?
Mostly.
Mm-hmm.
I currently have a couple tax bills sitting on my desk that I've been ignoring studiously for about a week or two.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to contest them?
No, I don't think there's any hope of contesting them. They're just letting them linger for some reason, I guess.
How do you adult at a party?
Well, that's a really good question. That's one place where I'm not an adult at a party very well because I don't make small talk with people I don't know very well because I don't like sports.
Right.
I don't hunt. I don't fish. I'm really the girliest man you've ever met, to be honest. Making small talk with a bunch of dudes, not really going to happen.
Yeah, you try and play it off kind of cool. But I try to do the same thing-ish, I guess.
My best case scenario is to hope that you're there so that I at least have someone else that is as pathetic as I am when it comes to sports topics.
We're pretty good at making snide comments about the other people who are there.
That's true, yeah.
I don't know that that's adulting. That's really more childing.
It's pretty childish.
It's pretty, you know, I always imagined that adults were totally in control. So I would say that you adult by pretending that you have everything in control. That is the key to adulting, is pretending that you have everything in control.
100% adulting is all surface level.
Yes.
I think the ultimate version of an adult is a swimming duck. Because from the top, you just look at that duck and it's gliding around the lake just fine. And underneath the surface, it's paddling like freaking mad.
Right.
just to stay on top of the water. That is adulthood in a nutshell.
So when does somebody become an adult, do you think?
That varies. I mean, you can become an adult just by virtue of age. I mean, eventually you have to be considered an adult. Or you can have it just thrust upon you. I mean, some people have to be an adult because their parents aren't very good at it.
So what used to be called an adult when you were a kid? Because here's one thing I can remember. It was adult movies, which really means nothing other than in code for...
Porn.
Actually, that was like the long word. It was like...
Porn is the long word? That's 4 letters long.
Back then, there wasn't porn. It was pornography.
Yeah, true.
But before that, it was stag films.
Stag films.
Blue films. You know?
We should do that. We should have an episode where we work blue.
This episode, it's entirely being recorded in audio blue. It's a blue audio file.
I don't think you understand what working blue means.
Oh, no, I don't. Apparently not. What is it? Educate me.
Working blue is whenever you use profanity or deal with salacious issues.
I think we do that already, don't we? Just in a
we don't use a lot of profanity.
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
right.
The closest we came was the end of last week's episode. Where
That's true.
Was maybe a little bit blue.
Yeah, that was a little blue.
That was a little blue.
I think that you should take that as a sign of hope that you're open to new opportunities.
But
you know,
I am definitely open to experimentation.
Here's one thing is, if you had become, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm referring to our previous episode, but if you had become a female fluffer, the one thing that for females on set,
right.
The one thing that we now know
Can't
that
believe
they
we're revisiting
better
this.
that they had better not try and do is spoon with you. Anyway, that would be the net result.
I just can't
spooning.
I can't deal with the spooning. It's too hot. I don't like being too
but
hot.
But you're fine with the spooning during certain activities. I'm
I'm fine with spooning.
You're
for
able to withstand
spoon for reasons.
Spoon for reasons. That sounds like a political organization. It's like Citizens United. Spoon for reasons.
It's the Campbell's Soup political pack.
That's right.
Spoon for reasons.
So, ladies who might be viewing Tim's profile, you better be careful out there.
I don't spoon.
Spoon for reasons.
I only spoon for reasons.
So I would have to justify my spooning to you because of heat. You would take it for an end result. You would spoon for an end result.
Yeah, I would spoon for an end result. I mean, if it gets me where I need to go, I mean, I'll be willing to spoon. Yeah.
Or some approximation of spooning. In some capacity.
Yeah.
But don't try and post spoon. So once the reason has evaporated, I respect
the thing
that.
is, I don't mind like cuddling or other various activities. I do not want to spoon because it's just because of the heat. It's too hot.
Well, I understand. You don't like being hot. Spooning makes you hot. And see, my answer would be turn up the air conditioning.
I already do that. I have the air conditioning on. I have the ceiling fan on. I'm like good to go with that.
But it's that extra person, whatever body temperature they're putting on.
It's that extra body heat that kills me.
Yeah. Unless there's a reason.
Unless there's a reason, then I'm willing to do it.
And then it's
so
fine.
Adulthood. Getting back on the topic. I don't know how we end up back with my spooning all the time. How about you? What do you think an adult is?
An adult is somebody who is not willing to live with the consequences of being childish. That's really all an adult is, because an adult is willing to take responsibility for all of these different things that have ramifications, like you don't pay your bills. Oh, you get kicked out of your house. Well, if you're childish, you don't really care. Fine, I'll live on the street. I don't care. You care enough about all of these different things to proactively take care of them so that they don't bite you in the butt later.
Okay, that seems fair.
I'll tell you what my number one advice on how to be an adult is get a wife.
Get a wife?
Get a wife. Because my wife is my adult,
it is
and
true.
she listens to this. I'm sure she could say that this was true.
I am positive she'll vouch for that. Is that she's the adult in this household.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
God forbid if she were to pass,
you would be helpless.
Somebody would put me in a basket and put me at your doorstep.
Oh, dear God.
Yes.
It's my nightmare.
Ring the doorbell.
I need a third kid.
I don't think I'd be naked, but I might be in a basket. I mean, I'm just saying this. If you were going to sell the whole baby in a basket, then they might strip me down. It might be a question. But I do think it's true. In a relationship, you do take responsibility for different areas. That's why I think there are couples, because adulting as a pair is...
So just like exercise, to be an adult, you need a spotter.
Kind of, yeah. Well, it's to make sure you don't out and out fail, and also just to share the burden.
Shift the blame.
Well, there's that too. Yeah.
That is one thing that I do miss about being married, is that if someone asks you to do something, you don't really have someone to shift the blame onto as to why you're not going to go do that.
Right.
Like if someone invites you to
an event
that you really don't want to go to, oh, well, I can't because the wife, had some plans already, or she wants me to stay home. We're going to spoon.
Right.
It's a special occasion. I can't go to your event.
For about a minute.
Well, we're going to go to 5 since yeah.
But you promised me a reason before, so.
Yeah, exactly. See, you still have that get out of jail free card. I do not.
You need to come up with the disability.
Well, I used to have a disability. It was called parenthood. That was the other thing where you can blame the kids. You're like, kids can't go.
Crazy.
Well, now my kids are adults. And so I've lost that excuse as well.
You don't really want to paint them as overly needy because that isn't flattering to them either.
It's not. And they don't really need me that much.
No, but I'm talking about, it's a lie anyway.
Well, yeah, it generally is, yes.
Yeah, so what I'm saying
is... But it's a socially acceptable lie.
Right, but you don't, in your lying, you wouldn't say, oh, my wife, she wants to practice being a serial murderer and I need to help her. You don't create a lie.
I got to hide the bodies.
That's right. You don't create a lie that's not flattering to yourself, to some, or even unflattering to your spouse.
Honestly, all it is it's a socially acceptable way for me to tell you, I don't want to go to your event because it doesn't sound like something I want to do. And you know that that's what I'm saying, but I'm saying it with language that is acceptable to you, that you will accept and go, okay, I understand that you don't want to go to my event, so I'm not going to press you on this.
I always thought that being an adult was just big-time parties. I thought that when you were an adult, it was like you would stay. I didn't understand why my dad didn't stay up all night, watching television, eating popcorn, and having his friends over to play Dungeons & Dragons.
Can you imagine your dad playing Dungeons and Dragons?
I'm just saying, to me, it's like, well, why wouldn't you? And why don't they want to get up on Saturday morning to watch cartoons?
That's a mystery to me. That's the part I don't understand.
What's wrong with you people? You want to watch Lawrence Welk? No. Lawrence Welk? No.
So boring. My version of adulthood is accepting that I don't really want to be an adult. I don't really necessarily want to grow up. I do a lot of childish things, as you can imagine.
Right.
Sitting here podcasting with you, it's not an incredibly adult decision. I mean, we're not making anything out of this monetarily, so why would we put this much effort into it?
I'm being paid, Tim. I don't know.
I need to take that up with somebody.
Yeah, and I would especially, I think where you're going to have leverage is the quality of my work.
That is true. That is true. Yours is much better quality than mine.
Well, no, I would say it's like whatever I'm being paid is too much based upon the quality. The jokes have got to be better. I don't think that any one of us ever feel as though we've got it all under control. And I think that's why people, they hedge their bets with money. If I have enough money, I know that to a certain degree, I can almost deal with any circumstance.
Well, yeah, that's 100% true.
My mom, when I look back and I look at her as an adult, she was, young mother, went to school, had 3 kids, was a wife. Don't know if there was spooning involved or not, but that was pretty adult. I don't know how there was any time. That's the one thing that I think that kids don't get about responsibility is that there's less time to actually cultivate yourself in a weird way in the midst of all of the other responsibilities that you have. I'm not saying that's necessarily our circumstance right now, but I'm saying when you have several kids, when you have a job, when you have all of these things, and when you have these different roles to play, father, husband, wife, whatever they
Yeah.
may be, you're not necessarily feeding yourself. Whereas I've spent most of my life feeding myself. That's really my ego, pretty healthy. The doctor checked it.
It is pretty healthy, yeah.
The blood work all came back good. My ego seems to be doing fine. I think Diet Mountain Dew might actually increase your self-perception of your own self.
I know it's doing something to your chemistry in there somehow.
That's right. It's affecting. So
Nothing that color is healthy.
Well, I change its color internally somehow. I don't know how that I don't know how that happens. I never considered that I might be magic. I can change the color of things. That's a skill.
That is, well,
I mean, it's not necessarily, granted, an uncommon one.
no, I'll grant you that, but it is rather magical.
Like if
yeah.
I've told you in the abstract, oh, this is pretty
This is going nowhere.
this is a pretty strange conversation. But if I told you in the abstract, you can ingest something and then it's going to come out of you. Well, first off, you'd say like, well, why is it coming out of me? That's another part that I don't completely understand. But is if you're going to build a system, if God was going to build a system,
Oh, boy.
plants, I think they've got it better, don't you think?
What do you mean define better?
They get their energy from the sun.
Sure.
Okay, so there you are. So we got photosynthesis going on.
Yeah.
They don't have to run to the toilet.
They can't run.
Do they have waste products?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oxygen.
Yeah, I guess I have a hard time perceiving that as a waste product because I
It is to
I
them.
suck it in. And do you think plants distinguish between being an adult plant versus being a child plant?
Being a seedling?
Yeah. Do you think that there's
No.
no?
It's only humans. I mean, animals don't care
They don't care about what?
how old they are.
No, they don't. To the best of my knowledge.
As far as I can tell.
I mean, they might hide their bigotry from us. We don't. We don't know. I'm sure there's always got to be somebody they don't like. I mean, because otherwise, where's the joy?
Well, other species, cats and dogs don't generally get along well.
Right. Being an adult cat means using the litter box.
Mm-hmm.
Being an adult dog means not killing. No, that would mean killing things.
Yeah. It depends if it's in the wild. Being an adult cat means you have to go feed yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have your food
Brought to you.
walking over to you and laying down in front of you.
Again, what I'll go back to is the plants. Plants got sun, food for me. Now, I don't have to worry about
I'd rather be a human than a plant.
I'd rather be a human
than a plant. That's a little musical interlude for you.
I'm gonna dare to say I haven't checked it on the tonally, but I think we might have been flat on that.
I'm pretty sure we were a little flat.
I don't think we were sharp. I think we were flat.
I don't think anybody has ever accused us of being sharp
on
anything.
I don't think there was harmony. I'm fairly confident there was not harmony.
Neither one of us was Garfunkel in that equation.
Yes, we tried
We
to
were
be.
both Paul Simon.
For those of you who are not listening to music within the past century, that was actually a reference to a song.
Century.
All right, so I'm not sure this was particularly funny as an episode.
I think you say that after every one of our episodes, though, right?
Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm. Confident, are you?
Is that like a Yoda bit? Confident, are you?
Confident, are you?
Hey, that was tonally okay.
That was a bit more Grover than Yoda, to be honest.
That's right. Oh, so you saw where they rehired the Sesame Street people?
Yeah, no. They totally never fired them.
Oh,
that
right.
was a total. They didn't understand what we were trying to say. When we said you're fired, what we really meant was we're just not going to use you as much.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that. That was some really terrible handling of that situation.
Yeah, that was bad PR. I mean, how much could they be making?
That's what I was going to say.
It's like
how
money
much of
bags.
How much of a drain is Bob on Sesame Street from that organization?
As a franchise.
It can't be much.
I mean, it's not like he's wielding his star power,
No,
such as it is. Do they even have an action figure for those guys?
Probably. I don't know.
I don't think they would because they wouldn't work in scale to the action figures of the puppets. Because they'd have to be like
you'd have
life
to
size.
scale. No, they wouldn't be life size. Do you know how action figures work? You scale things down. I mean, the Muppet.
Yeah, but
actually,
everything
if you're putting out a
everything has its
series
own scale.
Sure, right. But if you're putting out an entire line, you're going to make them all to scale.
Right, but the puppets are the most important thing, so you want to make them big for a kid. You don't want to make them like something they can put in their mouth.
Well, but they're not going to be larger than like 4 or 5 inches tall.
Right, but then you've got, if you were to make the human characters relative to, I mean, like compared to Oscar or Grover or Elmo, like Elmo's going to be like the size of a nickel. You know, if you put out an action figure that was proportional, that was a person. So I'm betting, I bet they do not have action figures of the human people on Sesame Street.
I would hate to bet against that. Because,
and they are the adults. I'll point out. Let's bring this whole round trip. Sesame Street adults, they did know the answers.
They did know the answers
to the ABCs.
Yeah.
They knew the numbers.
Yeah.
They knew the Spanish.
Yeah.
They knew all of those important. They knew the subway system.
They did. They all had their jobs, which they did and did well. There wasn't generally a problem.
Have you seen what they've done to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
No, I didn't know it was still on.
It's not.
Wait, what?
It's like Daniel Tiger. It's the name of the show. I see it now because we cut our cable. Okay. So there's a Daniel Tiger cartoon. Has all the same characters as Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Has Trolley.
That's interesting.
Has everything, but he's the lead. It's like his show. It's like they cut Fred.
Daniel Tiger.
It's like they cut Fred Rogers out of this. I don't know if he gets a cut or not.
I mean, he's dead, isn't he?
Well, in fairness, yes. But couldn't everybody...
in fairness, yeah, it was hard to include a corpse in your show, Phil.
But couldn't they... I mean, it's like almost everything else. Couldn't they have found, like Prairie Home Companion? They're, Garrison Keillor. Now, he's not dead yet.
He's not dead, but they're not broadcasting anymore.
No, they replaced him.
What?
They replaced him.
Did they?
Yeah, there's somebody else coming on in his stead.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Just like The Daily Show.
I had read that that the show was ending because he was quitting.
All right, one of us is wrong, listeners.
Oh, man.
So write in and tell us.
This is typical of us.
This is a job for Larry or Peggy or Sarah Kelly.
You're naming the only 3 people.
Or Matt Cravey.
Good job. Naming the only 4 people that have posted to our Facebook page.
That's right. What we've learned today, I think the takeaways.
Have we learned something today?
We have.
Okay. That wasn't my goal.
It's hard to be an adult. Mm-hmm. And that goes in keeping with you not wanting to learn something. Mm. It's hard to be an adult. We are not adults.
Not very good ones.
No. Tim does not like spooning.
I'm not a big spooner, no.
We'll go to extravagant lengths to not spoon. And he is willing to accept spooning for reasons. And that, I think, that is the net result. And that should go on your Tinder profile. Do you have a Tinder profile?
I do not have a Tinder profile.
Why do you not have a Tinder profile?
I don't know. I don't really feel the need for one, I guess. I don't know. Is that like Pokemon Go? Is that Tinder? Does that work like Pokemon Go?
I do not have a Tinder profile, but as I understand it, it is a place where you go and you date, and by date I mean have reasons with. You have reasons with? Okay. Yeah, you have reasons. Is spooning required? I think, but no, I would think that if you are an anti-spooner, that would be something that would be part of your profile. I think, it should be announced. It should be full disclosure. That should be a thing that you get to know before. But you can't do full disclosure. If you did full disclosure, I mean, I agree with you. No one would date anyone. No one would date anyone. Full disclosure, I secretly am going to murder you in about a year and a half. No one's going to be. That's an extreme example. Well, I'm just saying it. Like, spoiler alert, I'm a serial killer. If you've done it before. I really think if someone ever tells you, hey, in full disclosure, that means they're not telling you everything. Right. That means I've chosen to tell you this one thing, but there's a lot more that I'm not telling you. Right. We going to call this one an episode? I see by the clock on the wall that it is time enough that we've done our time. We've done our time. We've done our time, yeah. It is enough time that we have said enough words. How many words do you think we said this episode? I don't know. That's quite a few words. 2,000. That's
I think
my
it's
bet.
2,000. I think you should count them.
Listeners, tell us how many.
Oh my God.
Count the words and tell us how many words we said. And if you're right, you win a prize. You win.
Don't promise people prizes.
You get to spoon with Tim for up to 2 minutes
God.
without a reason. There we are. I think that's the prize. Or me. They can choose me.
2 minutes is acceptable.
2 minutes is acceptable.
I could do 2 minutes. I can't do 5. 5 makes it uncomfortable.
That's right. 2 minutes. So that's the prize. Spooning with Tim. 2 minutes if you count how many words you were, and you're correct.
So how you're going to have to count these to make sure that people are
not.
correct.
I'm going to make it up. So if somebody
Don't
guesses,
tell them that.
well, all right, then we just edit that part out. That'll be on you.
This is the worst.
And I'll just average it between
This is
the
the
two.
least adult thing we've done this entire time, and this includes talking about me spooning.
Yeah, I'd say you're right.
That means it's time to close down this episode.
Yes, I think it's time to end this chapter on adulthood.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you, everybody, for spending whatever time you spent with us here on the Two Men Podcast. We appreciate you very much. If you appreciate what we do, take a moment and stop by our Facebook page and leave us a comment or drop us an email. We'd be happy to hear from you.
Right. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you or hear you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Now it's time to play Instant Opinion, where I give Tim one word and he must render an instant opinion. Are you ready, Tim?
I am ready, Phil.
All right. I'm not, because I didn't have my list in front
Way
of
to
me.
go, Phil.
Yeah, all right.
We had a flawless intro and you messed it up.
All right. Envelopes.
Envelopes. I am pro envelopes because it usually means that there's a winner of some contest inside. I am anti-envelopes because licking the envelopes, that's gross. It's disgusting. I hate the taste of them.
Oh, that's where you draw the line.
That's where I draw the line. I don't like licking envelopes.
All right. Fireside chats.
Fireside chats. I am pro fireside chats because it can lead to fireside shenanigans. If you know what I'm saying, ladies? Yeah. I'm against fireside chats in that usually the president is delivering them, and that's far from sexy.
Yeah. I don't know who thought of that. They should be fired. Twinkle toes.
Twinkle toes. I am pro twinkle toes in that some very glittery nail polish can be pretty cute on the ladies. I am anti twinkle toes because that implies dancing, and it's something I don't do well.
That's right. I don't know. I think that's a term that people would apply to you. Twinkle toes.
Maybe.
Vague casseroles.
Vague casseroles. There's always that one casserole at a family gathering that someone made. You don't want to offend them, but you're not really sure what's in it. So I'm anti that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really a pro to vague casseroles unless you're just into tempting fate.
So you're a bigot.
I am a casserole bigot.
All right. Just making sure. Kissing cousins.
Kissing cousins. I think I've mentioned before that my cousins are all relatively attractive. So kissing cousins is a pro for me. Some people's cousins, not so kissable. So I'm anti-kissing some other people's cousins. Mine, they're perfectly fine.
Oh.
They're a handsome and good-looking bunch.
Yeah. Your bloodline, although you're adopted.
I'm adopted, so this is not the least bit creepy.
No, not at all.
Except to some of my cousins. So, hi out there, my cousins.
Farsi.
Wait, what?
Farsi.
Farsi like the language, or
Yes.
Farsi like...
Well, you know what? I never thought about that. You could interpret it. My intention was the language.
Okay, I am pro Farsi, the language, because languages are cool and interesting. I am against Farsi in that this has become kind of a farce here, and we're making a mess of it. So I'm anti that. Time's up.
Moles.
Moles. I am pro a well-placed mole, because that can be very attractive. I am against moles in my garden because they are destructive.
What do you think about Cindy Crawford's mole?
It's pretty hot.
Would you lick it?
Would I lick it?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
All right. Happy endings.
Happy endings. Every Disney movie ends with a happy ending, and I'm pro that because it's nice to see the hero ride off into the sunset. That's not what you were looking for. I'm anti-happy endings for various other reasons, which I won't go into.
You have your reasons.
I have reasons.
That's right.
They involve spooning.
Darning.
I am pro darning because it's like the lighter version of damning someone. So I darn you. I think that that's perfectly acceptable behavior. I am anti-darning when it comes to sewing socks.
See, that's pretty clever with that darning thing. I'm going to give you like
Thank
a
you.
B.
I thought that was pretty impressive,
on
actually.
the clever scale.
I darn you to heck. That's mild rebuke.
My parents still wouldn't have allowed it.
They wouldn't have allowed you to darn someone to heck?
I couldn't use darn. Are you kidding me? That's too close. That's like dancing near the edge of the abyss.
And we all know that dancing was not allowed.
Already,
abyss
I'm on the path
otherwise.
to hell.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have.
That's it?
That's it.
I was all excited. I got one that was actually funny, finally. I was ready for more.
All right.
No, that's fine. We can end on a good note.
All right. That's all I have.
Let's be real. I only had one in the tank, so we've exhausted my supply of funny.
So that has been another episode with one of us, which is
and the other one of us.
Together we make
two of us.
Two moderately entertaining nerds.
We are moderately entertaining. Thank you.
Greetings. I am Alice, highly paid digital assistant to the two moderately entertaining nerds of the Two Men podcast. Want to let us know what you thought of the show? Have a topic you'd like to hear discussed? Feel like demanding your money back? We'd love to hear from you on 2 out of those 3 questions. Drop us an email at twomencast@gmail.com. In the meantime, please rate us and leave a review on iTunes or your podcast service of choice. Also, for all discussions moderately entertaining, you can find us at facebook.com/twomencast. Please join us again next week when we'll be guaranteed to be funny. Or not.